Hey guys, welcome back to this channel. So in today's video, we're going to be going through my August reading wrap up, and it has been quite a month. We have officially read 9 books in August, and if you're new here, that is quite unusual for me. I normally average 4 to 6 a month, and even then I'm like struggling to hit that. One thing that I like to do is I like to put some stats so we can see together what I have read. The number of total pages I'll put right here. So for the genres, we have read 4 dark romance, 1 thriller / mystery, 3 romance, and 1 horror. It's been quite versatile. And with the romance ones, I've only got 2 here, but they've been hockey. It has been a hockey month, and needless to say, I need a break from hockey. So before we get into the video, don't forget to go grab a drink, get comfy, get cozy, and let's go. Okay, so starting off really strong, we have a 4.5 star. This was one of the first books I read in August, and to be honest, I actually had quite a good rating system in August. Normally, I don't get many high ones, but this month has been phenomenal. Definitely going out of 2025 with a bang in this last half. So first up, Killer Instinct, which this is book 2 in the Natural series, and oh my god, if you have read the first book, you'll know there is 5 teenagers that we follow to help the FBI solve cold cases, and one of them is Dean. So Dean is a profiler, and this is his story. So I can't really spoil it per se. There's things that happen in here that you obviously see in the first book, but if you have read the first book and you love Dean, you will absolutely love this. It goes more into his childhood and a little bit about his father. There is a copycat killer that follows his father. So his dad is a serial killer, how ironic, and he's a profiler. This, I feel like, is going to be my absolute favourite book. I have a theory that I feel like each book is going to follow each teenager, but there's only 4 books. So I'm not too sure about that one. But yeah, absolutely loved it. 4.5 star, highly recommend. If you have not read the first one, just go do it. Do yourself a favor and just start. The next one went a little downhill, and that was Consider Me. I had high-ish hopes for this book. I've heard that the series overall is really good, but I have heard that the first book in particular can be quite slow and long, and boy, it was. Seriously, this book had potential. It had so much potential if it cut out a good, like, this much. If it was only this long, it would have been like 4.5 stars. It was just so long, it dragged. But instead, I ended up giving it 3 stars because I did like it. We follow Carter. Carter is your typical asshole who is cocky, arrogant. He thinks he's all that. He's pretty much at his peak. He gets any girl he wants. Like, everything's going right. And then one night he sees his sister's best friend, and he actually wants a girl. Well, surprisingly. And then Olivia is the best friend. She actually isn't interested in Carter at all. It starts a whole cat and mouse thing. But I really did love this dynamic, and I did love the relationship because we go through Carter learning so much about Olivia. It is a bit insta-lovey, and Carter also does hard launch on Olivia. Very hard. Like 0 to 100 straight down the rabbit hole. Obsessed. I did enjoy, though, the ups and downs of the relationship. But in saying that, I do feel like it's a very general, realistic book. Of course, he is a hockey player, and you know, he has everything. Olivia, on the other hand, is just a normal girl. She is a PE teacher. She works at a high school. She, you know, has to work because she's not rich. She's getting by. She's got to pay rent and all that stuff. Whereas Carter, on the other hand, has everything. He literally has everything. He can get anything. The reason why I say this is a very realistic everyday book in a way is because the length of this book, I feel like we're literally seeing day to day to day to day of what they go through. Like quite literally, it feels like every single day. It goes from dates to what just happened in the day, to text messages, to like publicity, putting something out to try and ruin Carter and Olivia's relationship, and then it goes back to them just sitting on the couch and chilling, and then the next day they go out for breakfast. Like I fully felt like I was watching it day to day to day. I'm not even joking when like a good 200 pages could be cut out or reduced. It's possible, and it kind of scares me because the whole series is this big. It's this big. Mind you, it's like 530 pages for a hockey romance. So they average about like 300-ish, like 330. But nevertheless, it was cute. It just could have been wrapped up sooner. Okay, so next up we read book 2 in the Edge of Darkness series, which is Ferocious, and this is a 5-star read. This was the biggest roller coaster. I cried some more, and then I cried again. It was heartbreaking. This book was so heartbreaking, and as of right now, I am halfway through the 3rd book, and I can tell you this is definitely a 6-star series. Like this is one of my favorite series of all time. At the moment, at this stage, book 2 is definitely my favorite. I can't describe, even though it was so heartbreaking, it was so raw, parts of it, like, it kind of felt real, but if that was me going through it, like, there's no way. Like, the things that Stacey has been put through, just no. Just no. So because it is book 2, once again, I can't really say much about it, but we follow Cade and Stacey a bit more. We follow the family, and one thing I really love about this book 2 is, even though there's a lot of triggers, you need to read your triggers, it is a very dark romance book, and there is a lot of abuse, there is, you know, SA, there is obviously heartbreak. Even though there's so much going on, there is a bit of a found family aspect too, which I really love. There's like a found family inside the actual family, inside Cade Mitchell's family. The other thing that I really love too, Cade Mitchell is the son of a serial killer, Tobias. I love him. I really love Tobias. Like, he's one of my favorites. I don't know what it is about him, but he just seems so genuine and so kind and caring, but yet he's a serial killer. Like, she really gets him wrapped around your finger, and yeah. There's just no words to say, but it's really good. You need to go read the series. Next up we have Collide, which once again is an ice hockey romance book, and this one kind of actually surprised me. I thought it was going to be average. I ended up giving it 4 stars. It was cute, it was fun, I had a good time. We follow Summer, who has to do like a project to get into the selected college that she wants to go to, and she wants to do sports psychology, I believe that's what it's called. So she ends up getting paired up with the hockey captain. Now the hockey captain has to go and do this because his team ended up throwing a party and trashed the place, trashed it. So he took the fall for it, and as his punishment, he's got to be in or participate in this school project research paper thing for summer. When they first meet, they hate each other. Summer doesn't even, like, she tries to talk to him and he's just like, no, I don't want anything to do with you, or this or that. Like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be here. She then is just straight up like, well, fuck you too. I don't want to do this. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to go pick someone else. You know, I'm not doing this. Well, in the end, Aiden ends up eventually coming around. He ends up working with her and helping her on this research. And he rocks up to her dorm. I believe he takes flowers. Yes, he takes some flowers, but he ends up buying flowers that like is for people who pass away, and he didn't know that. So he was walking on his way and everyone's like, sorry for your loss, you're like, my condolences, blah blah blah. And he's like, what is going on? Until he gets to Summer's house and she's like, who died? Seriously, I really loved Summer in this one. I loved her personality. She is a very strong-willed girl. She doesn't try to let people get in her way, but she is a softie at heart. She also has a dad who was a big hockey player, and he pretty much chose hockey over being a dad. So a few secrets come out, a few family secrets come out. She's used to people using her because of her dad, so she kind of like hides that aspect of her life and doesn't mention who her father is. But it really surprised me. Aiden surprised me. I really loved him in the end. He was super cute, super thoughtful. I feel like he's low-key golden retriever. Literally, I just loved it. It was a great time. So the next one is also another ice hockey romance, and that is Behind the Net. This also, I gave it 4 stars, but I do have to say, I do feel like it's kind of, I guess, it's not really similar to Collide or Consider Me, but at the same time it is. It's kind of like the same thing. You have like this dick of a guy, and you have this girl that's trying to do everything to survive, to live, to keep in her lane and get caught up in a hockey player. I really loved the start of this one because it was actually a dog assistant. So our MMC, he actually ends up finding a dog on the side of the street, and he goes to put it up, well, not up for adoption, but he goes to take it to a shelter, and he ends up feeling bad, keeps the dog and hires an assistant because he is a high star ice hockey player and he's literally like top league. He's filthy rich. Anyway, so yeah, he ends up hiring Pippa, and it turns out that Pippa and Jamie actually went to high school together, and he is Pippa's crush, like high school crush, which is crazy. They end up kind of like connecting, and the one thing that I found really cringe, like I normally don't really get cringed at books, but this one I did. So Pippa is actually a singer, and she was like, I think she was like in a band, or she was a part of like a music record or something, and they did her dirty. So she ended up just like singing to herself, and she missed it. She would sing in the house, like in the shower and stuff. Jamie would hear her and he would call her Songbird. Her nickname ended up being Songbird, and I just don't like that nickname. It's just so cringy. Anyway, the whole thing, like, when I think about it, there's not a lot that really happens. Like, she helps him with his mum. I don't know, they both kind of like progress with each other, and I guess like Jamie can't really progress his career further, but he helps her with her music and encourages her to, you know, go sing by herself on stage and things like that. And actually really funny is Jamie also finds out that Pippa's only had one sexual partner before and he was trash, absolutely trash. And so he makes it his mission to get her to know what it feels like to be like 200% satisfied. He ends up, pretty much before they start dating, he is away on like a business trip and he orders a sex toy for Pippa and it gets delivered the day that he comes back from the trip. He does try to cancel it, then he tries to catch the postman and it's too late. He walks into the house and he can hear Pippa using it. Pippa didn't know that. I can't remember if she put two together, but I'm pretty sure Pippa didn't realise that Jamie has sent it and then she later finds out. But oh my god, imagine your boss sending you that. So the next book I read is another dark romance and it is called Under Your Scars. This was a 5-star read. I absolutely smashed this book. Like, I really, really loved it. I read this in like pretty much a day or a day and a half. Like, I smashed it. I couldn't put it down. I couldn't stop thinking about it. I just had to know. And the ending, I don't even want to talk about the ending. I did not see that coming. And let me tell you, it is not a happy ever after. Just don't expect it. Like, don't expect it. It was crazy. And I still think about it. So we follow Alina and she has a daytime job at this huge like corporate business, being pretty much, what's the like an intern type thing? I think it's like for a law firm. And then she struggles paying rent, so she ends up getting a night job, which is at like this dance bar, kind of like a stripper place, as a bartender. So the guy that she works for at the bar is an absolute sleaze. He takes girls down into like an underground area, basement, and the girl that she's working with, I believe her name's Kate or Katie, she does tell Alina, you know, if a girl does go down there, they never come back out. Like, she never sees them again. Then one night she's actually walking along the street, or she's like in an alleyway, I think it's a street, and 3 men end up cornering her. They do try to essay her, and there's this like serial murderer in the town. He actually murders like rapists. Yeah, he murders bad people. So he is like pretty much like the city's hero in a way, but the FBI can't find him, can't track him down. Like, he just does his thing, gets out, he can't be traced. So he ends up saving Alina, and this is where it all kicks off. And then the other thing is Alina's daytime job. She works for this dick. So the actual CEO of that company, Christian, he's like, imagine Christian Grey, right? Just picture Christian Grey. But the person that Alina actually works for, like answers to, is like this type of lawyer, and he's an absolute dick, like absolute dick. He never calls her by her name. He treats her like shit. He treats her like she's dumb, all this stuff. And he ends up trying to fire her one day, but he does it in front of the CEO, and the CEO is like, no, like, what are you doing? Like, you know, she's done nothing wrong. She's staying on. She can be my own personal secretary instead. Now, Alina and Christian, oh my god, this book is like 50 Shades stalker style. It is so good. It is so good. So pretty much she's talking to the CEO, but the murderer gets jealous and he stalks her, and he's like, no other man can have you. Pretty much any guy that touches her, look out, you're probably going to be dead. Guys, it was so good. I highly recommend this book. Just stop this video now and just go read it. But that's pretty much all I can talk about in that book, because the rest is, I can't tell you the rest. I'm sorry, it will spoil the whole thing. But I just can't get over that ending. I seen half of it coming. I didn't see the very end. Like, yeah. So I did read number 8 in the Raised by a Killer series. If you've seen my other wrap-ups, I think I've read a couple of books each month, and to be honest, I can't tell you what happened in this one. I can't remember, but I also can't tell you because it is a major spoiler, because it is the 8th book, okay? But all you need to know is it is a horror book. We follow Deicide, who is raised by a killer. Her father and pretty much his whole family are killers. They are cannibals. Right now she is grown up. I think she's like 21 or something. And I have actually kind of dropped off this train. I have rated every single book 1 star because I don't really like the series, but I am a curious cat and I just need to know what's going to happen. I need to see it through. I've come this far. I'm just going to finish it. But I unfortunately haven't picked it back up. But I will. I will. I'll make myself. But yes, 1 star. So we have 2 books left. One of them is actually, I read 3 books, but it's like 3 short books and a part of a series. And then another one is just like 1 book. The thing is, one of these is really low rating and one is high. Do I go good or bad first? I might go bad first. We'll leave this video on a good note. So the next one is called I Will Break You by Gigi Sticks. Guys, I'm a dark romance girly, okay? My issue isn't with what's written in this book. It's not with the triggers. It's not with what we get put through. It's so long. It is so long. For what? 2? There's like 102 chapters. And a good 70%. You have no idea what's going on. It is so confusing. We follow Amethyst, which I personally don't really like. That, like, it doesn't roll off the tongue for me. I half the time stutter over it, so I personally didn't like reading that all the time. And she is, I can't even tell you what she does, to be honest. Like, I can't tell you the point of this book. I can't tell you what the plot is. All I know is she isn't sure if she's hallucinating or not. So she has a pen pal on, like, in prison, and he's on death row. He has a scheduled date. So she was sending him letters and she was literally smearing them. I don't know if she was smearing them, but like she was smearing them in her vagina juices and then sending him her scent. So she stood out. He really liked her. They started talking. They had plans to get married. They fell in love. And his name is Zero. Now Zero is this 7 foot, literally 7 foot guy. He is strong. He's huge. He's big. And like, he does something. He does some questionable things, like very questionable things. But he pretty much comes back to haunt Amethyst. And the things that he does, Okay, so before he comes back and haunts her, first things first is when he's in prison, he would send her 3D prints of his own dick. So she literally had a 3D printed dildo, multiple of them, that she would use and video herself and send it to him, and they'd have phone. I'm like what? Anyway, so that's not even like bad or anything, but like it was just so random. Like this guy on death row is like doing 3D prints of his dick. But the weird thing is, Amethyst had an assistant because she was like a writer, and the assistant would sometimes get their parcels, and Amethyst didn't know this, but the assistant ended up actually taking one of those dildos and keeping it for herself and using it for herself. And then she ended up becoming obsessed with Zero. Like, anyway, so yes. The other two things, I'm just gonna say it. Like, I'm sorry if you think this is a spoiler, but it also might save you. So when he's haunting her, like pretty much he gets jealous, right? Like he thinks she's sleeping with other guys. So, and like thinks that she doesn't want him, and she let him die on death row alone and didn't want to, like didn't show up to the wedding and things like that. So there is a wedding cake that she was going to take to the prison, because they were scheduled to get married the day before death row, I'm pretty sure, or the day of. But yes, there is a wedding cake in her fridge, and it's untouched. It's untouched. He decides to get it out and literally stick his dick in it, fuck the cake, and then come all over it. That's not the worst part. The worst part is he has like a skeleton in his room, and decides to get the thigh bone, like the femur bone, and fucks her with it. So yeah, I rated this 1.5 stars. Not because of the things that happen, but purely because I have, like I said, I can't tell you the actual plot of this story. I have no idea. The first 70% you're confused as fuck, like so fucking confused, and then when you find out what's actually happening, like apparently it ends on a cliffhanger, but I personally cannot remember. I wanted to DNF this book like a good 6 times. I just wasn't interested. It wasn't grabbing me. It was so boring. It was so long. I literally could have like done without the information that I found out, to be honest. So a very last one is the last 3 books, but it's all in the one series, and I'm going to put this all in the same review. But we had finished the Mindfuck series. So we read book 3, 4 and 5, and these all 3 books are 5 stars. This series, if you are new here, I read the first book probably about 2-3 months ago, and it didn't fully grab me. I liked the concept, but I felt like it was a bit too slow. I did like how it ended, and I said that I believe the second book will be better. The second book was okay, but it still wasn't super exciting. 3, 4, 5, oh my god. I love the whole series now. The whole series is 5 stars. It's a 5-star series. Logan literally pisses me off so much, but I absolutely loved it. So this series here is a dark romance with a bit of mystery too. It's it definitely reminds me of Criminal Minds cross dark romance, if that makes sense. But it is also going to be turned into, I believe, a TV series. I don't think it's a movie, but I'm pretty sure a TV series, which is so exciting. One thing that I am sad about though is I really wish we could get a spin-off series of Hadley and Jake, like the two side characters, but unfortunately that won't happen. That is it for the August reading wrap up. So it was quite a lengthy month and I had so many good reads. I literally can't believe I had more than one 5-star book. It's the most I've had all year. I'm pretty sure from January to July I only had like 1 or 2 5-stars. And this time I got 2 in a month, which is crazy. So thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have read any of these books, or are there ones on here that are on your radar? I would love to know in the comments below. And if you haven't seen it yet, I do have my September TBR video, which I will leave here for you guys at the end. And my September lineup is actually so good. I'm so excited. I have some highly anticipated reads on there, and also some that I feel like are going to be my favorite series. So I'm excited to dive straight into September. Anyway, as always, I'll leave everything linked down below for you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.